Hey everyone, what's up? I'm just out here in the desert enjoying this thunderstorm, lightning, everything else. You guys won't be able to see this, but it is what it is. It's always a joy when it rains here in Arizona. But regardless of all that, I don't even want to come out with a video on this. I really don't. But I know some of you want to hear what I got to say. The bottom line is this, as you saw in those first couple of clips. You know, title of this video is going to be "The Hyenas Always Celebrate First." And, just the other day, dude, he was in my comment section and he even was able to observe that they're coddling Canelo a little bit more. Although I don't want to make this who's the best victim video. The bottom line is Bud Crawford is not a victim. You know what I'm saying? What you guys saw at the weigh-in tonight, it's no different than what happened versus the Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather situation. And I could sit here and I could babble on for a good 40 minutes if I really wanted to, breaking this all down, But the bottom line is this: Canelo is the media darling today. And even from the very beginning, as we led up to this fight, I felt that Canelo was a less confident fighter. I believe this to be the case in the pressers and things like that. And Canelo, he finally got a morale boost tonight during the weigh-in with the crowd cheering him and things like that. He fed off of that energy. So that's good. The final presser, I believe, as well, was kind of a ceremony for Canelo to kind of make him feel comfortable and, kind of help him out with his nerves and things like that. But Bud Crawford, once again, this guy, he gets up there and you can tell he was deeply affected by the weigh-in, by the crowd cheering for Canelo. And I'm sure it reopened some traumatic wounds in Terrence Bud Crawford's life. You same guys that are cheering and hyped up tonight for for Canelo Alvarez, you understand? You're going to be the same people that are going to be quiet tomorrow night when Bud's putting them hands on Canelo Alvarez. It's just that simple. I mean, like I said, I didn't even want to come out with the video to even talk about this stuff. But regardless of all that, again, Bud was ready to leave that stage quickly, and he was definitely offended. I think you guys may have woken up Bud Crawford, you understand, the psychopath, but we'll see on fight night, It definitely deeply affected Bud, and he was moist from that weigh-in. I will say that much. He was even breathing hard and things like that. You could see it's like hurt and a combination of anger in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? But the way he was breathing was really telling. He's going to want to hurt something tomorrow night, and he's going to want to shut up the boxing world. You can just see it, and I truly believe he's going to go out there and do it. Canelo, I think they made a big mistake. You understand, the whole thing you guys been arguing this whole time is size. And Canelo was focused on trying to outbox a better boxer than him, and that's just going to prove to be his downfall in this fight. He does not have better skills than Terrence Bud Crawford. He's not as good as a counterpuncher, no matter what guys like Mike Coppinger say. As Terrence Bud Crawford, you guys can hype yourself on Canelo's resume, again, where he's received a lot of assistance and things like that, and coddling, you understand. This is a guy, even in victories, that loses way more rounds than Terrence Bud Crawford. Terrence Crawford, even though he's the little man that's moving up to Canelo Alvarez, that's not good enough for the boxing world. That's not good enough for the machine. They're trying to reinforce, and with Manny Pacquiao, they did the same thing versus Floyd Mayweather. Don't run. Boxing has now become a synonym for the word run. Boxing is a science, guys. Running is a whole different sport altogether, and running is something that Terrence Bud Crawford does not do. But regardless of all that, they tried to do it to Shakur very recently, to be quite honest with you. Stand there and trade and take punches. Bud Crawford needs to fight his fight, but Bud Crawford, he is a fighter, and he's been fighting his whole life, and it's not been handed to him. We've covered this from pillar to post. We've even covered the spiritual behind this fight to a certain degree. You understand, I've had plenty of scoffers in my comment section where they're even mocking God just to try to trigger me or whatever else. So, we've even addressed that aspect in this fight. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is this, again, I don't think Team Canelo is confident. Uh, to me, the equivalent of slimming down like they did for this fight, and they think they're going to outspeed Crawford and you're going to outbox Crawford. You understand? Uh, that's the equivalent when Errol Spence came back with the shag. You know what I'm saying? Against Ugas, and that got the fans all excited and everything else. But Crawford is not Triple G. He's not nowhere near as slow as Triple G. Crawford has far better skill set than Triple G. Far better defense than Triple G. GGG used to get teed up on in a lot of his fights. Kasim Uma, when he was 28 years old, he had excuses after that fight. Even against guys like Willie Monroe Jr., oh, those are just tink-tinks. When Willie Monroe stood his ground and he started putting his punches go, it affected Triple G. As long as Crawford doesn't fall for the poker face, as long as he doesn't fall for the intimidation tactics, Canelo, even when he does get hurt, he's going to try to act like he's not hurt, and plenty of fighters do this, you know what I'm saying? Triple G was good at this too. Kell Brook buckled Triple G. You understand? Your legs don't go like that if that shot did not affect you, and that was a guy moving up. You understand? But the thing is this, again, as long as he don't fall for the mental game of this fight, it's really a mismatch. It truly is. And you guys, you're so worried about size and everything else. And like I said, Canelo's mind is set on, I need to show that I'm actually skilled too. And that's not been your ace in the hole. That's not been, what puts bread on the table. It's been the machine that's assisted you. You know what I'm saying? And you're trying to prove yourself against, it's arguable right now, but Bud, even without all the assistance and everything else, has been a top pound for pound fighter. You know what I'm saying? Guys like Lomachenko, they'd even go as far as trying to erase losses off his record to try to, present him better to the public and things like that. And they'd have him rank over Terrence Crawford. Now, Crawford, even right now is ranked higher than Canelo Alvarez, but he has been for the majority of both of their careers. And that's regardless of the resumes and everything else. Canelo's team, and just like the rest of the boxing world, didn't even care about Undisputed until Bud did it, And like I said, I could sit here and I can just talk for like a good 40 minutes just breaking all this stuff down at the end of the day. But I think you guys, you definitely awoke some trauma in Bud. And I think, this is going to just add fuel to the fire that's already there. Bud Crawford's not coming to play. Bud just needs this fight to hurry up and get done with. You can tell he's at that point. He's trying to be more amiable, in his interviews and whenever they're asking questions, just like at this weigh-in, like, how do you feel, Bud? And, you can tell he's very angry right now, guys. And I'm trying to tell you, all you did was you just opened up some wounds on Bud Crawford. He's definitely moist. He's definitely feeling hurt right now. He's angry. You can see it in his eyes. You can tell by the way he's breathing. It's just like a small child when they get mad. It's pretty funny. But again, I see this just as history repeating itself. Guys like Canelo always win the online polls in the popularity contest. Terrence Crawford is going to be on the side of history, that doesn't try to overhype moral victories like a Triple G's performance versus Canelo. Again, that was the greatest accomplishment in a Triple G's career. Yet Triple G never really did anything. You understand? A lot of you are going to disagree, but that's fine. Look at his resume; it's right there for all you to see. And again, I know for a fact he was ducking fighters. You guys don't want to admit it, but those guys, the moral victors and the guys who win the popularity contests, and those type of guys, again, winning the online polls. Crawford's not going to be with that category. He's going to be in the category of the true greats, like the Floyd Mayweathers. Again, you guys don't even hold a Canelo Alvarez to the same standard as a Bud Crawford. Just like they didn't hold Manny Pacquiao the same standard to a Floyd Mayweather back in the day. And this is going to be what really hurts Canelo in this fight: the coddling, the assistance, the lack of merit. The machine, again, that has supported him. It's not going to help him at the end of the day. You fans, with your moral support, not going to help him at the end of the day. In fact, you guys already hurt him tonight during the weigh-in, giving him some false sense of confidence, you know. And Bud Crawford, again, is going to do the impossible. It's not just the fact that he's moving up 2 more weight classes, you understand, from his last fight. But these guys, it's even to the point, again, where not, you know, you're already at the disadvantage, but we don't want you to run, Bud. And again, Bud is just going to, you know, a lot of you guys that always fell for who the TV told you to cheer for, this is just going to be another L on your record. For those of you who are new and you're in puppy love and you're just want to feel like you're part of a group or something else, you know, this is going to be a good learning experience for you as well. You know, you're going to learn how the machine works and you're going to know how to spot, identify it, and things like that. And hopefully it drives you to be better analysts instead of trying to always go off of your emotions and things like that. You know, maybe it'll make you a lot better where you can actually analyze these fights and things like that. And I don't even have to come out with these videos anymore. But this is just another rerun, in my opinion. And Bud, this is what he's been doing. You know, he's been the trendsetter. He's been the guy who's defied the machine. You know, it's kind of like Gladiator. You know, you had 2 characters, Commodus, and you had Maximus. You understand? And Commodus, he was just a little coddled, little, you know, scared brat. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying. The evidence points to the fact that Canelo's scared. It's not that he's confident. It's not that he's a true apex predator. What Terrence Crawford is actually doing is showing you that he's the true apex predator. I don't need rehydration clauses, non-disclosure agreements, this and that. I'll move up, you know. And, you know, we don't want Tom and Jerry again. They did the same thing to Floyd Mayweather back in the day. Bud just needs to fight his fight. And they didn't do this to Bivol. Bivol did this as well. So did Floyd. Confront Canelo when you need to. Run when you need to. It's that simple if you guys want to call that running. To me, it's called boxing, by the way. But it is what it is at this point. But one guy has showed me confidence, you know, and even a willingness to, by all means, go against the odds and defy those odds. The other guy, again, it's just like Commodus kind of early on in the movie where you see that he has the guys and he's trying to tell them it's a choreographed fight. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he knows what punch is coming next and things like that. And then in the end, we all know how that movie wins. But I kind of see that kind of similarly to this as well, you know, this whole situation. You're going up against Caesar, you know what I'm saying? And you're the man from lower caste. And this is the thing that the machine truly hates more than anything else. They hate to see how the small man, the pawn, can make his way across the board and become a king. And Terrence Crawford, please continue to do what you're doing. We're all backing you. You understand. Been backing you since day one. You know, you represent merit. And Canelo, again, represents, I think, kind of artificial, kind of anomaly. You know, the industry plant, you know. I don't think there was nothing organic about Canelo at all. And Crawford, it's been the opposite. He is the organic man in this. Hence why I call him the man of clay and why I call Canelo the synthetic man. It's time to join the greats. Terrence Crawford, God bless both fighters. God bless all of you. I didn't even want to come out and speak on this tonight. I didn't even feel like there was a need to, but, you know, some of you are interested. And this is my take. And I may come out with one more video before the fight, and then we'll come out with a video or whatever after the fight. You understand? But that's pretty much it for now, guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.